a close one to the Philadelphia Eagles, 25-20. Mac Jones, 35 of 54, 316 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns, but a loss to start week 1 at Gillette Stadium. Michael Holley, Tommy Curran, Ted Johnson, Amina Smith here with you. Welcome into Post Game Live, brought to you by New England Ford Dealers and Ford Trucks. And guys, this was a roller coaster matchup. I really thought that this was going to be a game that we got decided at halftime, but the Patriots, they did not let go in the second half of this matchup. Ted, I'll start with you because we haven't seen you so far, but just what did you take away from this game and how the Patriots played the Eagles?
You know what? It feels very familiar, this feeling, you guys. Where the Patriots put a valiant effort in there, and it looks good against a good team, and it's just short, and so they don't get the victory, and you sit there and you go, oh, but it was a good performance. I'm done. I can't do it. I got my man Tom Curran right here that's going to take that angle, but I can't do the moral victory thing, Tom. It's just the Patriots had a chance, you guys. They did. I mean, They had the momentum going in at halftime. They come out to start the second half and go 3 and out, and then they put an impressive drive together. They go, 11 plays, but had 2 penalties. Kill that drive so that they have to punt. So no points in those first 2 drives to start the second half. They weren't ready to go to start the game. They weren't ready to go to start the second half. And there were some questionable coaching decisions at the end of this game that we're going to get into that leaves you a little bit of a head-scratching kind of feeling. But at the end of the day, I'm not giving out moral victories anymore, you guys. I'm sorry. I can't do it, Tom.
Tommy Curran.
I love the product. The product was watchable. The offense was organized. It was synchronized. I saw rookie cornerbacks taken in the first round, coming up with sacks and bringing people down. I saw Jabril Peppers, who I said would be the heartbeat of the defense, coming up with a fumble, forcing tackle on Jalen Hurts. They got outscored 16-0. I'm saying it might be 64 at this rate, and Tom Brady's day is going to be ruined. And then they actually channel some resourcefulness, some resiliency, and they show up outscoring the Eagles 20-9, the best roster in football outside maybe San Francisco. And they put together a representative effort. We all thought they were going to lose to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. They just didn't stink. There is so much upside to look at. So let's have a great season.
I love your enthusiasm, Tommy Curran. I love it. And I will agree with this. I'll agree that the Patriots look more professional and more entertaining than they have in the last year and a half today. They did a lot of good things. We didn't expect them to bounce back the way they did, especially after that 16-0 beginning. But ultimately, they lost today because they weren't able to do what they wanted to. I don't think they want Mac Jones. Mac Jones threw 54 passes today. Ramondre Stevenson, their second best offensive player, you could argue, averaged 2 yards a carry. So either he couldn't get it going or the offensive line couldn't open things up for him. And I think, as Ted said, I agree with this, when it came to critical moments in the game, because we were coming down to the last 2 minutes, I said, here's Mac. Here's the moment that Mac has never had as a professional quarterback. This is his opportunity to deliver something, and they couldn't. For the second time today, Booty on the sideline, you think he's coming up with an incredible catch, doesn't get the second foot down. The penalties, just the missed opportunities. The 4th and 17, the Patriots went for it on 4th and 17 with 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning on the other side of the 2-minute warning. So they really could have had 4 timeouts.
And they opted not to kick a field goal, too, which would have changed
there were some really questionable decisions, Amina, that led to them coming up with this loss.
Yeah. Curran, you feel like the same, better, or, worse seeing what the Patriots did today based on what we've been talking about this entire offseason?
Give you a for instance. Last year they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals 22-18. They fell behind 22-0 in that game, okay? Mm-hmm. So they had a similar, if you just look at the box score, day. They scored in that game on a ricochet touchdown to Scotty Washington. They scored on a pick 6 where Joe Burrow just flung it up there and someone returned it. It wasn't a representative effort by the offense. This was against a good team. They battled them toe-to-toe. I think that after the first 12 minutes of play, the Patriots kind of significantly outplayed them. So what are you going to hang your hat on? I mean, we got 10-9, we got 10-7, we got 6-11, we got 9-8. I'm not sure what your preseason
about 8-9.
So to me, if you watch this product, and I know that I've hammered 4-15 against teams that went to the playoffs, a lot of those losses, they had no shot to beat those teams. This was not weather-related, not injury-related. They showed up. They shot themselves in the foot repeatedly early. and they played well enough to beat that team.
But for them to touch your ceiling is 10. Did you have 10-7 or
I have
something
10
like
and
that?
7.
For them to get to 10-7, they're going to have to start winning some of these games.
Then you don't get down 16-0 and you go beat Dallas.
Right. So now the record is 4-16 against playoff teams going back to 2020. So we've been to moral victories. I've seen moral victories before from the Patriots. They had a moral victory the last time Tom Brady was in the stadium with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lose by 2 points. Mac Jones, rookie. They got to deliver. They got to pull one of these wins out. And I thought tonight was a great opportunity for them to do it. It's a missed opportunity.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, killer. Just an absolute killer. And that's the thing. This is a familiar feeling, is getting close, but just not, getting the ball across. So as much as we want to talk about moral victories, and at the end of the day, the offense looked like a professional kind of operation. I mean, they didn't have an offensive penalty until 4 minutes left in the third quarter. That's fantastic. But the most of the offense that was generated tonight, you guys, was in a type situation that they were really bad at last year, which gives me hope, which is just a 2-minute offense right before the end of the half. And then they were really in 2-minute mode there at the end of the fourth quarter. And that's when they started putting points up. But the regular offense and some of the coaching decisions in this game, again, are all too familiar from the last few years for me to get too excited and worked up about what we saw tonight.
What's one of them? Coaching decision.
The 4th and 8. I was freaking out about that, and maybe
great
a lot
catch from Hunter Henry, one-handed.
But he made the play, all right. But not kicking the field goal on 4th and 3.
I like the 4th and 8 play. I did not like the 4th and 3.
I agree. I didn't like
the
that
4th and 8 play. I like because it was on the edge with a rookie kicker, and it's a coin flip whether he's going to make it or not. But then when you get down and it's probably a 35-yarder, whatever it was going to be, and it's 4th and 3, take the 3, make it a 3-point game.
Let's bring these guys into the conversation. We want you to join the conversation. How do you feel about the Patriots' season-opening loss to the Eagles? Moral victory, better team won, or they blew it? Vote in our poll by going to NBCSportsBoston.com/Patriots to vote, or scan the QR code on the screen and scroll down to the poll. Ted, I want to get back to something you were talking about. The coaching decisions and being questionable. We talk about the 4th and 17, the 4th and 8, where Hunter Henry made that one-handed grab. How are the coaching decisions possibly holding this team back? Because they were really in this matchup and they could have won this game.
Yeah, I mean, you almost look at it. If I'm a player, I'm kind of questioning that. I mean, because there's a cause and effect for those decisions. If you make that field goal, it gives your team 3 points. I know you still need a touchdown to win the game, but it just gets positive momentum going forward. And this isn't an offense where it's not a Patrick Mahomes type offense where you feel like comfortable going for it, in your territory on 4th and 8s, and then deep in their territory on 4th and 3s. It just isn't that kind of offense. And so if I'm a player, I'm feeling like I thought some of the coaching decisions, besides going for it on those 4th downs, not being aggressive on defense in the second half like they were in the first half, and they were really getting things done, was a little bit shocking to me. And then they were a little bit, I think, late making adjustments on offense. The second quarter was phenomenal, and they didn't go back to that. I thought what they were doing in that second quarter to get all of those, all those points they got. They didn't do that in the second half. So the adjustments at halftime, I was questioning, and some of the play and the timeouts at the end of the game, not timeouts, but going for it on 4th down, sure. I question at the end of the game.
I look at this. Just looking at the drive, the Eagles went field goal, touchdown. Then after that, with 1:49 left, they went punt, half, field goal, fumbled, downs, end of game. That's really good against a team that scored 30 or more in each playoff game. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think you guys out there, we all have different. The person sitting next to you on the couch might feel differently, because the people sitting right here next to me feel differently. Yeah. I just want the product to improve. The way I saw it happen in 1993, the way I saw it happen in 1995 towards the end of the season. Different years, 2000 at the end of the year, 2001, when it improves and you're like, they're onto something. And I feel like last year was such a massive step back that they couldn't find their ass with both hands. Now they're on their way to finding their way out of the woods.
That's such a great analogy. I just had to laugh to myself every time that
threw me off for a little bit. That threw me off a little bit. It's certainly not a moral victory. Now the 4th and 17 decision is the one that really gets me, because one, why are you going for it in that situation when you got all of your timeouts? And then two, there was a little underrated. The undercard on that decision was Hunter Henry with the drop, which gave Philadelphia great field position. Jim Nantz said on the broadcast, he wouldn't have had it anyway. I'm thinking, Jim, that's not the point. he dropped it like at the 32, 33-yard line.
It's a little bit underthrown,
And then because of that drop, Philadelphia is able to take over at the 50. At the very least, you can have a field position thing. But at the end of the game, I just feel like they just blew so many golden opportunities with just not paying attention to detail.
And they can't.
And we got to see that. We got to see them overcome that.
We
I
got
haven't seen that yet.
70% sitting there saying the same thing you are.
And they blew it.
They blew it.
Yeah, you can't. You had a chance to beat a good team, just like they did a couple years ago. A great team, excuse me.
They really are.
And I thought they had the game plan for Jalen Hurts. I thought they did a pretty good job. I mean, did you see how many times he had to escape the pocket, and he's terrible throwing on. I mean, he's terrible. How many times he had to throw it away? The Patriots, I thought, did a pretty good job on defense, keeping Jalen Hurts, from really killing him, and they still. They still couldn't, win this game. That's the heartbreaking part of it.
Here's the thing. In order to have a moral victory, you have to have a building block. This game has to serve as a building block. So the question then becomes, does this game become a building block, or do the players say, we had that. We screwed it up. We're still not that smart. The coaches didn't help us. I think it's going to be the former. I think they're going to be able to. But the chance does exist, because when you have a moral victory, to me, it's a signal of better things are on the way. That's why I get, kind of enthused, because the things that we hand-wrung about since February, can Mac be not a baby? Can he revive his career? Can Kendrick Bourne do anything at all? How can they protect him? What will the rookies be like? I mean, Keon White was a pain in the ass. Christian Gonzalez was terrific.
Yeah.
Demario Douglas made a contribution. Keyshawn Boutte needs smaller feet. But other than that,
Jabril Peppers look good at free safety.
Jabril Peppers, I just think is terrific.
And to your point, Tom, even though I don't want to call it a moral victory because I don't believe in that, just philosophically, at my core, I can't believe in it. You're right. It could be a building block, because this is not a game where we come away saying, at the end of the day, the other quarterback, who was not average, was able to do whatever he wanted, and the Patriots couldn't stop him. Jalen Hurts threw for 170 yards today. When he went to run, he didn't hurt them running the football. As a matter of fact, when he went to run at the end of the game, we got into this position. Jabril Peppers lined him up perfectly and caused the fumble. So they were able, for the first time in a long time, the Patriots defense was able to face a good quarterback and say, okay, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Not on my
you want
watch.
to do that? Yeah. We're not going to let you do that.
Not on my watch.
But besides the defense keeping him contained, the offensive line, I think at the end of the day, you would say, did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah,
and
they
the offensive
overachieved
line,
based on what we thought they would do.
So my point, you say, hey, you're going to, Mac got sacked, what, one time?
I'm looking at that, but yeah. Late
So,
in the game,
like, one time, if you said to me before the game that the defense is going to keep Jalen Hurts bottled up pretty good, and the offensive line's only going to give up one sack, go win that game. It doesn't get any easier, Amina. Don't they have the Miami Dolphins?
Got Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Did Tua have 500 yards or something like that today?
Yep.
So
Crazy.
it just doesn't get any easier.